And we are live. Oh, I got my sound effects. What up, everybody? That was embarrassing. That was embarrassing. Where is my sound? Well, it don't want to work. Anyways, I'll fix it in a minute. What's up, everybody? My bad. Awkward. What up, Christy Macca? Let's go.
I, I
It's
mean,
because I'm sorry.
I'll give,
Go ahead, sis.
I was just gonna say I'll give you some drum roll.
Thank you, thank you. No, what it was is because it's whenever I have my setup here from whenever we were with the last situation we had. I think we had somebody call
Yeah.
in. We had the whistleblower. Great grade A reporting, if I wouldn't say so myself. Let me get my sound effects though, because I love to have them on here. And shout out everybody watching now on the repeat. Okay, so let's turn these bad boys down, and here we are. Woo! You know me,
There we
sis.
go.
I'm a pro at this kind of stuff. I
You
don't know.
sure are.
I'm an old man. I'm gonna be honest, sis. We had my kids over yesterday. My wife's birthday was last week, and they're all over here. And my kids are always here, right? My oldest son, my kids, their boyfriend, girlfriends, and everything. And it's funny. My oldest boy's girlfriend was talking about how she was at work. She works with this lady that's real old. She's like 40 or 45 or something. We're like, hey, we're 40. You know, it's like the kids nowadays, they think that 40's old. You know, and like I don't know.
Exactly.
I feel like I'm still 20. You know what I'm saying? But it was funny because our kids, they always make fun of us that we're old because we're 40, right? I'm 40. My wife's barely turned 40, and it's just funny like listening to them, talk about that, sis. But
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm like 10 years older than you, and although I've gone through some like health issues,
Yeah.
my mentality is still that of a 20 or 25-year-old. Before I got sick, I was out like on the football field with my son every day throwing footballs. We went to the beach and threw footballs and all kinds of stuff. And so my mentality is about 25. My body right now just didn't react in the same, but it'll get there.
My bad. I was doing a mic check, sis. Make sure everything sounds good. Yeah, that's why I said I feel like I'm still 20. Well, I don't say I don't feel. The one thing I do notice the difference is I'm more like tired than I used to be. But besides that, I'm still sharp. Thank God. And hopefully, I can make it to live longer. But it's just funny how the kids how they pick at us and say that. But it's all
I
good.
know.
It's funny.
I re-
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I remember being like 8 and 9, and looking at my parents and thinking they were old, and like they were. I think they were both 22 when I was born, and I remember like looking at them, and they were only in their 30s, and thinking of how old they were, and my grandparents how old they were, and
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's just something you go through.
Yeah. How come? And everybody jumping on y'all. We're gonna check out all the. There's a lot of footage of the protests. Man, this thing's been bubbling up for days. Chris, if you can give me some info in a minute about it, and then message Nessa. See if we can get her on the live. Sis, I don't know if she's even out there. I'm trying to get informed with Anthony. He went.
She,
He went live last time with us, y'all, and the other protests when Trump first got elected, and we did a pretty good interview, so I'm gonna try to get him. He's on the boots on the ground in California. We'll see if we can get him on the live momentarily. We got a lot of updates about what's going on nationally, especially in California, LA to be exact, and then we have stuff here locally that I've really been dealing with. To be honest, I post and I keep up with Trump here and there, but I'm keeping up with my backyard. Christy, ain't it a swamp where I'm at? Go ahead.
Nino. I am telling you. So I think I posted that the other day that where you live is supposed to be desert, but it is the deepest swamp I have ever seen. When I tell you that the corruption and the lies and everything, it is just like a true reality TV. I have never seen such deception before in my life. Like people being able to get away with as much as they've gotten away with without anybody ever saying
Sis,
a word. Like it's
well,
crazy.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I mean, there's a lot of things we're gonna touch on. We're just gonna go live because I feel like great weekend with the kids. Uh, it's a swamp here, y'all. But I want to say this before we move on to the corruption, sis, which is crazy. I don't know about y'all. Shout out everybody in the chat. Everybody's getting on here. Hey Cindy. Hey Eva. We have someone that here said they're 45. They're a grandma. My kids ain't gave me no grandbabies yet. Y'all, we're patiently waiting. And I told my kids, I'm like my parents. I'm gonna steal my grandbabies. Yeah, I don't know about
Uh,
you, sis, but I would say Hispanics, right? But but our family's kind of like known or not known, but there's like it's kind of like a running joke for a lot of people that when they steal somebody's kids or their grandparents step in and take the babies. I'm like I told my daughter, we're gonna end up taking one of the kids, right? Just playing with her, but
so,
that's kind of how my wife was. Her grandparents
yeah,
raised her, and her mother. Well, I don't want to say too much, but they basically fought to get my wife to raise her. And same thing with my grandparents. I had my father in my life, and my mother was in and out. She wasn't that bad, but I ended up going with my grandparents. I got raised with my grandparents. So I
yeah,
always joke with my daughter that once I get a little baby like her, get her little twin, I'm gonna steal her from her. But
absolutely.
back to what I was saying, sis. It seems like because we got some grandmas in the chat that are 45. And salute all my parents and grandparents, y'all. God bless y'all in the name of Christ. But sis, don't it always seem? I don't know about you, but it's like every time I think about my life, and I do want to make some music. That is kind of like I'll be candid here, y'all. I do want to make some kind of music, later on. I was kind of a musician back in the day, but and even though I'm already old, but who cares, right? I can do what I want to do.
Hello.
But the point is this though. Anything I think about or whenever I reminisce about anything, it's always from my like teens to like maybe 25, 28 or something. It's like from 25, 28 to like 40. I'm not saying I forget those years, but it's like I'm not saying I'm stuck in an early age. But do you know what I'm saying? Is there like
Well,
is it weird that
no,
we're like we like relive not relive, but we like to harken back to like our 20s? You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
no, and that's what this
Oh,
is the truth. This is the
congratulations!
truth.
Hold on, congratulations, new grandbaby due in 5 weeks. Lauren Butts, God bless you. Sorry, sis. Go ahead.
That's okay. So, I've said this to myself, and it kind of always sticks in my mind. If I had life to do over again, I would have went into law enforcement, and it would have been the correction side of things. Whenever I worked the correction side of law enforcement, I loved it. I never had to, there was only one time I had to use excessive force, and I had to pepper spray somebody, and give the reason why she tried to spit on me, and she was under the influence of many
Mm,
different things.
yeah.
But if I had life to go do over again, it would be law enforcement. And I think that that's what you're saying. You kind of get stuck back in those memories, like if I coulda, woulda, shoulda. And yeah, that's just kind of where I am with it. But I want to tell you a story real quick that you were just talking about, like you're going to steal your first grandbaby or whatever. So my son has dated now for 2 years. My son's biracial, half black, half white, and he is dating a Puerto Rican. And you talk about a tight knit family. I got to meet them all at his graduation. Her her brother came up to me. He reminds you of Jolly Green Giant in his mid 20s, and gave me a hug, even introduced himself and said, "I want you to know we always got Charles." And so, because my son and her are so like, I mean, I don't know if it's going to be like a sweetheart love that lasts forever or whatever, but they made them get a puppy and share custody.
Wow.
So Scooter brings me this dog, but mom, I'm like, nah,
Sis,
I'm not a grandpa. I'm not a grandma yet.
you know what's kind of crazy? It's like my oldest son and his girlfriend. Excuse me, I had a cough. My oldest son and his girlfriend, they already had like a dog they had together. Then they got another dog, and
Uh-huh.
I don't know if that's the norm, sis, but a lot of young people they don't want to have babies. They want to have dogs,
My
and
son said that to me.
I'm gonna be honest too. Even older people treat their dogs like babies. I'm not gonna lie. I got four dogs. I didn't want none of them. Maybe the bulldog, but I got four
Oh,
dogs, and these
I love
dogs
all
get.
your
I mean,
dogs.
there's Kodak. He's sitting at the table. Were they eating steaks with us, sis? They sleep in the bed with us. I don't like it. That's not how I grew up, but that's
I
how it
love it.
is.
Kodak is my favorite just because he's not your favorite. I love seeing him sitting up at the table like a grown little man. He is the cutest dog, but the bulldog's cute too.
Yeah,
But
little girl, she's
Kodak's
amazing.
my favorite.
Okay, so my bad, y'all. We're here chopping. We can just call each other and say this. But anyways, we're gonna go to the actual protest in Cali. Christy, I don't know if you can reach out to Nessa or informant Anthony.
Already
I'm trying to get
did.
him on the
She
live. What you say?
already already did. She said that she had just put up her house just to give her a couple of minutes, and she
Okay.
would be ready to go.
Okay, good, good. We're gonna have someone in Compton, California, real MAGA. Now, this is what I've learned, y'all. I'm gonna say something. I used to say it too. That I used to say that. Hey, sis, it's kind of not echoing, but it's kind of just muted. If I speak for a long time with my loud
Okay.
mouth, but I'm gonna say this. I used to always say that I wish that California would slide off into the ocean, right? And I remember brother Reuben Israel, street preacher, he corrected a lot of people, especially myself, with that. They had that attitude because he said a long time ago, he's passed away. He said we got Christians, and I would even say patriots, Christians, whatever you want to call them, behind enemy lines in California. That the attitude we have about California, we should never really wish that they just slide into the ocean, because there's people. Shout out Ronald here. I know a lot of my MAGA in Cali. There's a lot of patriots and Christians in California that are behind enemy lines. And I remember they said that California used to be red. So I said, say this: we shouldn't have an attitude of like screw California. I know there's some lefties over there. I know that we don't get along, with politically, even with our religion, whatever, with certain sects or groups of people in Cali. It's usually liberal for the big cities. Everything else is red from what I've heard. But the point is, we should never wish ill upon California, because we still got our people there. And our people that are currently there, like Sister Nessa, Compton's finest, they are some MAGA patriots that are really with the business, and they do not play. They are in the trenches, and those kind of situations and those kind of patriots act, or that battleground actually breeds a certain kind of patriot that takes no ish. Okay, I live in West Texas. Thank God my town's basically a Trump town for the most part. There's some liberals here and there, but I kind of got it made. But in California, it's tough being a patriot or a MAGA, Christian, Trump, or whatever you want to call it. They are behind enemy lines. So that actually makes a different kind of patriot that's used to being in an abrasive, aggressive situation at most times. And that's who Nessa / Compton's finest is. I met her a long time ago. We ate at Harry's in D.C., and her and her dude and their whole crew, man, they do not play games. You think, California patriots are soft? Hell no. They are not soft, and they are some of the hardest, best, God-loving, God-fearing patriots of them all. And I'm going to say one more thing, Christy, before if you can unmute yourself in a minute. The kind of Christians I like, I'm going to be honest with you. For me, being a Christian this whole time, seeing churches and pastors, frauds like Brian Trejo and all these kingdom music rappers and all these entertainers that use God for money, in my opinion, seeing all them rise and then fall, due to scandals or whatever, I actually like, in my no trust in any churches that are 501c3 entities. That's a whole nother video. My actual dealings with all that has made me really realize the kind of Christians I really like to hang with. The best ones that I like are the ones that cuss, the ones that are patriots, that are MAGA hatters, that ain't perfect, they're flawed, and they don't try to hide it. Because the ones that are up there like Brian Trejo and all these pastors that are wolves, you know what I'm saying? I would rather be with a cussing Christian MAGA hatter, right, than with the fraud. On the outside, they play the part. They act holy, but inward, they're like a wolf. So I said to say this: that's some of the best Christians I like. The Christians I really have a lot of respect for. You can get mad if you want. Those that cuss, those that ain't perfect, those that are flawed, because I'm in the same boat myself, and we ain't hiding nothing. We just let it all hang out. Our faith is in Christ. If we were perfect, we wouldn't need a perfect Savior. So I said to say this, y'all. Salute everybody out there that's a Christian, that tries your hardest, and don't worry when they look down on you. Those especially in the church, and shout out to church too. I'm not trying to put them down, but I'm just saying certain people that are in the church that are really wolves. They got it all together on the outside, supposedly, but there they are having multiple affairs for years, and they're up there preaching. People like Brian Trejo again. So, like I said, shout out my cussing Christians, my patriot Christians. And again, some people might not like that, but I've come to find out those are some of the best Christians that are down to ride, down to go out there and protest, down to go take a stand. They ain't perfect, they're flawed, but they're with the business. Go ahead, sis. Oh,
No, I
there she is.
completely.
Nessa.
Yeah, I completely agree with you.
Go ahead, sis.
I completely agree with you. I think that us that are flawed and we recognize that there's things that we need to work on. And I'll give you an example. So I have random Bible verses pop up for the day. And 2 days in a row, I had something um, about my tongue, and I don't remember the exact scripture, but just how harsh your tongue can be, how it can slice people, and
Mm-hmm.
things like that. And you know me, Nino, I am quick witted, and I can literally cut you up in a million pieces if you get me mad. And sometimes always called it a blessing and a curse that people, because of my tongue, always know where I stand. But sometimes, and I always consider that a blessing, but the curse is that sometimes you just need to step back and use discernment, and maybe just not be so hostile into situations. And I'm really, really like
Mm.
working hard on that.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree, right? Like kind of step back, be more patient, I would say, right?
Yeah. Instead of just automatically like going off because it's not an opinion I agree with or something like that, like taking the emotional part out of it by
Hey,
stepping back
hey,
and yeah.
hey, Christian, can you do me a favor? Message Nessa, get her number, and then call her on three-way, sis. I'm gonna put her on for she can give us a
Okay.
report
I
of what
think I
she.
have
So,
it in my
okay,
I
yeah,
think I have
call her.
it in my phone
Hey,
already.
there's
Hold on a
Amy.
minute.
Shout out Amy. We got a lot of things happening, man. Man, we're gonna touch on the local issues as well, y'all. Amy's in the building. Y'all check her out. Follow her page. She does live daily updates on Vander Ranch. We're getting the Greenwood residents are being screwed. Excuse my language. Out there with no water. Shout out Amy. She's in the comments. If y'all see this, I'm gonna highlight her. Check her out for daily updates of Vander Ranch. She's a citizen that's very pissed off, upset, and rightfully so due to the way they're treated in Greenwood. We got a lot of moving pieces for this upcoming week about Vander Ranch in Greenwood, Texas. Water is very important, y'all. I kid you not. I went to Vander Ranch. I love the community. I love the neighborhood, the people. I mean, that's an old school vibe neighborhood. Even though it's kind of they're cookie cutter homes and they're built a certain way, and it's like a little subdivision, right? And where I'm at in the South Side, I'm in the ghetto, right? But over there, it's a subdivision. But when the kids are running around, they're playing, the neighbors are talking across the street, like that's one of the best things that I love about Vander Ranch is the community. But the sad part is, elected officials do nothing. Vander Ranch is being screwed with poisonous, disgusting water, and we're standing up for them. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't want to talk too much about it right now. We'll talk about that here in a minute about Vander Ranch. But there they are claiming that we're clout chasers, pigeons, or whatever the hell these weirdos are calling us. Like I'm not sitting here looking for stories to go. I got things I want to do in my life, right, with my family. I'm not trying to go out here and just like clout chase. If you think about it, to be honest, nobody in the United States cares about Midland, Odessa, or Greenwood. They don't care about that. If I wanted big news or big views, I would cover some of the stupidest, most dumbest content of them all. My biggest video on TikTok has 3 million views, and it's the some podcaster with a black ghetto queen, and I'm reacting to it, and it got 3 million views. That's the kind of stuff
Yeah.
people like, dumb stuff, idiotic. So I'm actually getting less views talking about local issues, but that's what I care about. Anyways, shout out Vander Ranch. I love the community. It's just so nice being in a neighborhood where everybody comes and talks to each other. There's kids riding around on four-wheelers and bikes, and it's like a old school kind of a vibe in Vander Ranch. Shout out to Vander. Anyways, go ahead, sis. What do you got?
So just one little thing before I got Nessa on the phone. Woohoo! But about Vander Ranch, the people that are calling us all those names, shame on them as they take a bath
Mm-hmm.
with clean water, that go to their faucet and get a drink of clean water, and knowing that these are the people that are supposed to protect and serve, and they're given
It's
making sure
horrible.
that the people Vander Ranch just completely opposite. But Nessa is on the
Okay.
line with us here, Nino, and
Okay.
let's go.
Okay, I'm gonna put her on, but let me just say this. Alex G says Nino cussing is not that of a Christian character. I'm gonna be honest. What's cussing? What's cursing? If you think about it, what's a cuss word? What the world deems a cuss word? My kids can say whore, ass, bastard. Those are not curse words. Those are King James Bible words. So that's a whole nother debate that we could have. What is cussing? What is cursing? Cursing is when you curse somebody, right? When you say cussing, what is cussing? I honestly believe that's a man-made, new world problem. I will believe, right? So again, we can go different ways with that. But like I said, I still stand by what I said. The best Christians I've met, to be honest, are the ones that cuss, because the ones that sit there and play holy roller, and there they are with a non-profit for-profit corporation scamming the whole damn city. I know a couple, right? Look, I ain't exposed them yet. They get offended when they'll get offended when they hear somebody say a so-called cuss word, but they're over there stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars. So which one's worse, right? I digress. Nessa, you on the line?
Yeah, what's up, Nino?
Woo! Hey sis, I know you tried to give me the story earlier. I was at work. Everybody, this is a legend. This is a legend in the MAGA game. Nessa,
Absolutely.
can you please introduce yourself to the crowd and say what you want to say?
Hey, everyone. So my name's Nessa. I'm from Compton, California. Fucking been a Trump supporter since 2017. I'm out here active in the streets, me and my posse. We come out here, throw some hands if we have to. Love this patriot shit. All this shit going on, honestly, right now with this whole ICE raids going on in LA. That shit's a disappointment. It's freaking embarrassing. Right now, like at this moment, I can honestly tell you that I'm fucking embarrassed to say I'm from the city.
Why is that?
Because the way that these people came out here to destroy the city that we all live in over some criminals, over somebody that sex trafficked, that was abusing children, like hardcore criminals, people with deportation orders. Like, this is who you guys are protesting and destroying our community for?
Nessa, I want to ask you a question. So, like, I have seen, of course, whenever we get clips, it's the clips of that, like the most viral moments that are going on. Have you had? Have you ever found anybody that's willing to have a conversation on why they throw up their Mexican flag and go out to these protests and hate on America so much? Like, and I'm asking this seriously, like, if they hate it here so much, all they have to do is cross back across that border. Like,
Oh yeah, 100%.
have you ever found anybody that's just like honest why they do that?
Their mentality is, this is stolen land. And
Wow.
as much as we tell them that it was bought, you guys, they sold it, like Mexico sells out their own fucking people,
They
which is
actually
why
gave
everybody's here.
Texas. They actually gave Mexico gave that land away, which became Texas. They didn't even buy it. Mexico gave it to the United States, which became
Yeah.
Texas.
But I think California, I think they paid like about
I think they
50.
did too. Yeah,
I
yeah.
know there's like a dollar amount. They sold it. They don't want to accept it though. But the craziest part is that they don't understand is that our families didn't leave Mexico because it was a great place to live in. They all came here for a reason. I'm actually the first generation born here. My grandmother came by herself, brought her husband with her after, and then they started bringing the children. But my grandma never had her kids or herself living out here without documents. My grandma, as
Right.
soon as she stepped foot on this land, she got herself a social security number, got her green card, hooked all the kids up. All my aunts had green cards. A lot of them have became U.S. citizens over the years. I have two of them left that haven't went through the citizenship process yet. But and I have one family member, one of my aunts. She's super anti-Trump, and I just don't
Wow.
discuss politics with her because I can't get to her. It's like I reel her in, and her husband reels her back. And then
Yeah.
I reel her in, and her husband reels her back. But it's the mentality of, this is stolen land, this is Mexico. We don't owe these people anything. And the thing that they don't comprehend is that even as a person that has Mexican descent, right? And I cross the border into Mexico, I don't get treated like a Mexican. They
Right.
look at us like gringos. We're white to
They don't
them.
like us, Nessa. They don't like us.
They
Let's be
don't like
honest.
us. They don't claim us. If you go over there speaking English, they will charge you way more for the product than what it usually costs. The Mexican
Wow.
police out there will pull you over, take your money, arrest you. You can't go over there and wear nice clothes and wear jewelry because they'll kidnap you. You can't drive a nice truck across the border because they will pull you over and extort you. Like when I go, I usually call one of my friends. I have a friend that I met in Tijuana back in 2019 when I was going out there because they were protesting against the caravans showing up to Mexico. So I've known this man since 2019, and every time I go out there, I still talk to him. And he's telling me that a lot of the people that are being deported right now or that are landing in Tijuana are literally making themselves victims, won't tell everybody why they got deported. All they're saying is like, well, they deported me. No, but why? Tell the truth. And they're not going over there to be good citizens of Mexico. They're over there doing the same shit over there that they were doing here.
Nessa,
but what they don't comprehend is it's a state ran by the cartels. So their time, everything will catch up to them. The cartels are always watching. They're in the restaurants, they're in the streets, they have spotters, they have people. They are going to fuck around and find out that in Mexico, they are not going to play that shit.
Okay, so tell us the opposite of what happens here whenever we know that you're not scared to throw hands, that you've had to do it numerous times. So what's the attitude here whenever you stand up for being a patriot and all of that? What's the difference between like Mexico and what they're doing there in the United States, what they're doing here?
So like in Mexico, if I were to go to Mexico and I wave a U.S. flag there, the first thing they're going to do is lock me up and throw me in jail.
Oh, wow.
They literally have a law in Mexico that you are not allowed to fly any other flag that's not the Mexican flag.
Wow.
I swear to God that we need that here in America because there's no reason that these people are out here flying their flags to their shithole countries. If you guys love that flag so much, why are you guys here? And if that country is so great and you guys are so proud of it, why did you leave?
Yeah.
And why can't they fight this hard for their country? Why do they have to do it here? Yeah, I'll tell you why. Because if they do this shit in Mexico, they will end up in a fucking ditch.
And
That's why they do it here.
It just is so amazing to me. Like, and Nino doesn't care. They can call him whatever, and he just laughs about it. King Nepal, whitewashed, coconut, all those things. But like, I have seen more racial slurs between Hispanics than even than black and white. Like that, Mexicans and the United States Hispanics are the most racist I have ever seen.
Oh yeah, Mexicans are super racist. Off the bat, they don't like black people.
Oh, I knew that.
Off the bat, let's be realistic, because I'm not going to sugarcoat it. People need to stop making it seem like Mexicans aren't racist. Yes, they are. And they're racist against their own Mexican black people because there's a whole city in Mexico where there's Africans that are Mexican, like they're mixed, right? They're African and Mexican. Yeah. They don't like them. They treat them like freaking peasants out there.
Wow.
And literally in Mexico, there's another city in Mexico, in Guadalajara, Mexico, that if you don't have fair skin and colored eyes and blonde hair, they treat you like shit. Wow. Because you're not like them.
Well, it's gone back.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's gone back since even the back in the day when it's still like that. If you're dark, light, whatever, it's like they put you in a certain kind of a class. Even me, like growing up, I was dark. They make fun of me because I'm dark, which I don't give a damn. But you know what I'm saying? Like they always look. It's my own people.
But like you said, it's a class thing.
Yeah.
In Mexico, they call it that. That's what it's called. There's clasistas.
Wow. Okay.
It's so crazy. Because let's touch bases with the Central Americans. The Central Americans don't like the Mexicans. And the Central Americans don't like the blacks. But people like to make it seem like all Latinos get along. No. There's a lot of... If you call a Salvadorian a Mexican, he's going to lose his shit.
Oh, yeah.
If you call a Mexican a Central American, they're going to lose their shit. They don't like each other. Yes, there might be people out here that have become friends over the years and they've built a bond. But realistically speaking, we don't get along.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Nessa, and I totally agree. I'm not dumb. I don't sugarcoat nothing. And people want to sit here and play the part, play the role. We just keep it real, and that's all there is to it. So Nessa, let me just let's start from the beginning. So you're in Compton, right? So when did you start hearing
Yeah.
about or seeing them protest or riot? Let's call it what it is, because I think it's been happening for a couple of days. When did you first hear about it? When did you first start seeing it?
So the one from yesterday, it was about I was actually like 8 in the morning, 8:30 around there. I had just finished doing laundry, so I was coming home and I jumped online, and I'm in a couple of groups in my community, so I started seeing the posts pop up. There's ICE, and they're saying ICE is at Home Depot, but I'm looking at the picture and I'm like, first of all, that's not Home Depot because Home Depot's across the street. They hit a different business, like it's a gated business area.
Okay.
That's not Home Depot. So these people, not only are they freaking lying, that's how they get everybody riled up, by lying. By 9 o'clock, the people started showing up. Like a lot of these leftist organizations that have pages, they started showing up, live streaming, and calling for everybody to come out. By I left LA County around 11:15, and I headed down that way because I said I'm gonna jump that whole area that was blocked off. It was the freeway entrance, and so I had to get on that freeway to go up north. And I told my boyfriend, "Okay, we're gonna go drive by and see what's the whole commotion and see how much we can see." As soon as I made it to that straight Atlantic where they had already blocked everything out, they weren't going to let me up on that bridge. So I had to reroute and take the freeway. So I'm jumping on the freeway and I'm seeing that people are getting off on Alondra. And most likely these people are coming to come protest. But what the police did was they blocked, like you couldn't go left and you couldn't go right. You had to go right back onto the freeway. So everybody that was getting off was getting right back on. Now, to southbound, they made sure that they shut that freeway down. There was a Rosecrans exit. Everybody was getting off. They shut the freeway down. And so, like, traveling northbound, the traffic was moving very slow. And I kept going. Like, I started driving up to Bakersfield. I kid you not, that when I got to Bakersfield, I opened my phone and I started seeing the complete chaos. Complete chaos. They're putting their hands on these officers. They're throwing stuff at the officers. They're throwing all these carts at the officers from Home Depot. Then I hear that there's like pallets of bricks, right? And I get it, suspicious. But I also think about the part that, well, it is a Home Depot property. Don't they get shipments dropped off at the property? And maybe it was a setup. Maybe somebody else did come drop bricks, but I try to not think about it that way because I'm like, who would have known that they were going to show up here in the first place? Because it's not like they're announcing where they're going to go
Nessa,
pick up these people from.
do you think this is orchestrated by someone else, like in the background, like BLM? Everybody's comparing it to BLM.
I'm going to say no because there's no black people out there.
No, no, but I'm saying, do you think this is orchestrated or this is like planned by a group behind the scenes, or is this
Oh,
organic?
yeah, George Soros,
Yeah.
100% is involved.
Wow.
100%, because we haven't heard or seen Antifa out in the streets for a while, and they were out last night. And those fuckers don't come out unless somebody's paying them to come out.
And
And
what
they were out here.
what do they do whenever you? I know you have multiple run-ins with Antifa. When you see them, how do you know it's them? Which I know we know how they look, but how do you know it's them?
Usually because they're in black bloc. So if they're wearing all black, it's Antifa automatically. Their journalists try to dress up like they're not Antifa, but we all know who they are. I did see that one of the Antifa guys, he goes by ACAT News. He was out there, and I think he got tear gassed because he posted a picture of himself crying that he got tear gassed. And, we all just laugh about it because we're like, you deserve it. Shouldn't have been out there.
Do they always wear the face masks?
Not all the time. Not all the time. Some of the journalists don't wear masks. Like ACAT News, usually he's not wearing a mask. Or like Kelly Stewart, which is Sky Spider, she sometimes wears a mask, but a lot of times she doesn't care. These people don't care. Everybody knows they're like known Antifas. They're involved in a lot of court cases, but nothing happens to them. It's bizarre.
Well, we know why, because Kamala Harris said that they set up this special bail to get those people out. It's all backed by Soros, and nothing's going to ever happen. Soros has those judges bought and paid for.
Oh yeah, 100%. And it's complete insanity because it's like, what are you guys trying to accomplish with this? How are they accomplishing anything by burning cars, graffiti the businesses in the area? Like when I went out there this morning, it looked like a war zone. It's really depressing. Like I was so upset because it's disgusting.
How many cop cars do you see like in a day's time get like burnt out or beat out there?
Usually street takeovers. It's all on weekend, like almost every weekend. We can hear the street takeovers. They're not always burning cars, but the majority of the time they're stealing someone's car and they're lighting it up on fire because they're not bringing their own cars.
No, they probably don't even have cars. They probably have home with abuelita.
And a lot of times they take their parents' car and they bring them out here. And then when, CHP does their sweeps and shows up and picks up these people's cars from their house, their parents are like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Okay. So, you see this is happening, right? And it's still going on. Do you ever, are you follow Inform with Anthony? Do you ever see him out there, or have you seen his content?
Yeah, I've seen Anthony. We're cool. Like when I see him, I always keep an eye on him. I make sure I tell the guys, just always watch him because I know that a lot of times he's out there by himself and he can't watch everybody and record at the same time. So, a lot of times we like to watch out for these guys because we know that they become a target. They want to go after them, steal their camera, steal the footage because they don't want to be exposed. And that's why a lot of people, they put out a hit on him. I don't know if you saw that today.
What?
This morning he made a video and said that all these leftist Twitter accounts exposed him and basically told everybody to watch out for Anthony. If they see him, they know what to do, and they want them to take his
I knew that was going to happen, Nessa, because all of the interviews and all of the live footage that I've seen him do, he tries to remain non-biased because, and he has said it, I have a lot of different groups around me, so I have to play it cool and stuff like that.
So they don't target
Yep, that he had to play the part and all that. And I've just always, like, every time I see him out there, I know that it's usually just him or him and one person.
Man.
And I'm always worried about his safety because they don't care. They don't care.
He's getting a lot of views right now because he's pretty good on X, man. That's the homie right there. He's on X and he's in the battle zone. It's crazy. It's wild that this is this happening over there, right? I'm in West Texas. I ain't gonna lie. This morning I went to work. I'm going peacefully to work early, 3, 4 in the morning. And I said, you know what? Thank God. I live in a town where I can go to work. I don't got to worry about protesters blocking the road, burning down buildings or whatever. I was actually grateful this morning going to work because I see what's happening in California. It's very sad. And you know what else I don't like, Nessa, is a bunch of these. Now that I see them, I've been unfollowing them. People I see follow some Hispanic or Latin raza pages or whatever, and they're showing their true colors. Snow the product, screw her. I think the food community, the top food, that's the homie Juan, but there he is, talking down. All these, people that make content or these, celebrities, even Baby Bash, right? They're all like doing for these people. But like you said, this is the worst of the worst. But you know what? When I see these people do that, you know what I do? I unfollow or I talk crap, whatever, but I'm not going to support them. Because you know what? I tell them, what about American citizens? If you think it's okay for illegals just to run rampant, open all your doors at night, unlock all your windows, whatever, and let anybody just come stay at your house. This is a land that has to have law and order and borders. And it pisses me off that not just celebrities, but people have this kind of a feeling for illegal aliens like they're good people. I'm going to be honest, Nessa. I don't know what you think about it, but I say deport every single one. I don't care if they've been here without breaking the law, not one time, because that girl that hit that young girl that was going to the Air Force, right? I forgot her name. Forgive me. But the point is, they always say they're not committing no crime. So what? We got to wait until they actually commit a crime, take one of us out, and then deport them? No, deport them as soon as possible and get them the hell out of my freaking country.
Yep, I agree. Like I tell people, like I get it. People come here because they want a better life. I totally get it. But there's a lot of them, that have been here for 30 plus
And they don't
freaking
get their
years,
papers.
and
Yep.
then
Right.
they don't get their papers, and
Yep.
then they can't even say, "Oh, we don't have the money." Bullshit. You guys throw big ass Sweet 16, Sweet 15 parties. You guys throw big ass baptism parties. Y'all throw big ass first birthday parties, baptisms, weddings, the whole shebang. Y'all got all these $60,000 freaking trucks with rims and sound and tint. Y'all don't got money though.
Yeah.
Y'all don't got
Exactly.
money though.
Exactly.
I
They have
remember.
the money. They don't want to use it for something good.
Yeah,
And
and
instead of them coming here to assimilate, come on.
No, and that's a real quick. Let me ask you, assimilation. That's one thing. I'm gonna really be honest. I would like to close the border and don't let nobody in. I think we're full at this point. I don't even care about even
Yeah,
legal.
no, fuck yeah. Close that shit for 10 years. Don't let nobody in.
Exactly. Thank you. But sis,
Completely.
how is
Close
it?
it.
How? Yeah, I agree. How is it though that they don't assimilate? Right? Like, is there parts of LA that's like little Mesco, or it's just straight up taken over by these illegals and people that just don't want to
Oh,
act?
yeah. Downtown LA. Downtown LA is like illegal land. Like, I swear to God, ICE can show up with a bus and throw everybody in the bus, bro. And the fucking downtown will be a ghost town because there's a lot of illegals out there. And a lot of them have set up on the sidewalks, like who always talk about how businesses have to pay taxes and all this stuff to have a
Permits.
storefront. But then we have people popping up a table in front of their business selling their shit. And a lot of it is counterfeit shit that's coming from China.
Wow.
And they're out there just selling their stuff, dude. And dude, they need to hit them hard. They're selling all kinds of illegal stuff. They're selling liquor, beer. I could go to downtown LA and have a michelada while I'm walking and looking at all this shit that they're selling.
You know what?
Like literally selling liquor out there with no permits.
I have to say this. So, and I was pretty much a smart ass in the comment, but it was this lady that absolutely was hysterical that her neighbor had been her neighbor for over 30 years, owned his own home. His wife and him kept their grass manicured. They owned their own cars. They owned their own RV, all these things, and they got deported. And I'm like, I'm sorry. That if you're telling me that they were there and they have an RV and everything paid for, they had every opportunity to do things the right way. And I have no sympathy.
None. Marcy says, love this girl. Everybody tuning in. This is Nessa. She's out there in Compton, California. Real MAGA. Probably, I think she's a day one MAGA Trumper. And she's been out there going at it against Antifa. And she's been at the protests. And she's just giving us her insight about living behind enemy lines in California. We need to pray for our Christians and patriots in California.
Absolutely.
One more thing I want to say is, we see these people doing what they're doing. They act a fool, and then people want to sit here and just say, they have a certain kind of feeling for them. But I'm going to be honest. What people fail to realize also, they think it's just Mexicans that are illegals. I think that's kind of a weird racial situation in itself, but
it is.
But there's all kinds. I'm an equal opportunity deporter. I want all of them gone. I don't care what race. I don't care what race you are. I don't care if you're from Russia, Nicaragua, Guatemala, wherever you are from. If you're here illegally, you got to go simple and plain. It's just not Mexicans that are here illegally. And I'm going to touch on one more thing that you're talking about, but the micheladas and also the counterfeit product. We are. Listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. Let me put it on the main screen right here. I want to say something real quick and see if you agree, Nessa. Us men that work hard, and even women too, we will never get the pay we deserve in the United States of America if you have people that come from other countries, don't assimilate, and cut the rates of everybody else and charge way less. It's very hard to have a business or make money if you can't compete because someone else will do it for a quarter of what you do it for because they think $100 in one day is good money, which some places might be, but for the way inflation and Joe Biden's economy he left us, it's very hard. So we need to deport these people in order to get our pay increased, our pay rates increased. You agree, Nessa?
Yeah, I 100% agree. And you know what? That's honestly one of the reasons why I became a Trump supporter, dude. That's one of the freaking reasons right there, because before I became a Trump supporter, I was on the fuck Trump train. I had banners. I had stickers. I was
you were, sis?
shit on social media, dude. I was a super Trump supporter. Because You know, like they say, we grow up and they tell you you're a Democrat. This is how you're going to vote. We don't know no better.
And then Nessa,
I got
what happened?
registered to vote
Go
on the
ahead.
metro, and I didn't even know what the hell was going on, honestly.
But so Nessa, so what happened? So you were an anti-chopper. I mean, you maybe told me before, but you end up you're just talking crap about Trump. You didn't even think about it. You didn't know about politics or nothing. What was that transition like in the beginning?
It was so I was on this fuck Trump stuff, and then I was actually looking for a job at that time, and so I went to this company. It was called Revolve, and they have a company right here in Cerritos. They're an online store, and so I went in with my resume, dressed professionally for a customer service job. I sat inside their office. They made me fill out an application. I'm sitting there. I'm watching the scenery, right? How everybody's dressed. There's people showing up in their gym clothes. There's people showing up looking raggedy as hell. Like, I was raised and taught that when you go in for a job, you dress your best because your first impression is everything. These people were dressed like they were going to go hang out at somebody's house. And so in the midst of that, I saw they had asked me a question, and because I didn't answer something on the application the way they wanted to, they told me that I wasn't going to get an interview. But standing next, like to my right, I see this lady come out, start speaking Spanish, and pulled all the Spanish speakers in because they were going to interview them in Spanish. And I fucking lost my shit because I said, you guys are going to deny me an interview, but you guys are going to interview all these people in Spanish for a fucking job that I want. I walked out of there so fucking pissed off, and I cried my whole way home because I couldn't believe my fucking eyes. I called the company back. I called HR to complain, and you know what they did? They basically laughed at me over the phone. And at that fucking precise moment, I said, fuck these illegals. They have to go. It's Trump. I jumped on the Trump train. It was the best decision I did in my life, bro. So for somebody to come tell me that these illegals ain't taking our jobs, yes, the fuck they are. It happened to me.
Nessa.
I saw it happen.
And so there are job interviews posted, or companies, posting job openings like on Indeed and some of these big things. And it clearly says that must be able to speak bilingual. And I think that is absolutely
I hate that.
discrimination.
Yeah.
I think that's discrimination.
Yeah. And so it's crazy because a lot of companies out here, like if you speak Spanish, they want you to use both languages, but they don't want to pay you.
Oh.
Right.
So why should I speak Spanish when you guys are not willing to pay me for it? Like a lot of times I have jobs, I won't speak Spanish to people. My previous director from my some company I worked for, I heard that he had heard one of his employees was translating for somebody in Spanish, and he came out and he said, I don't ever want to catch you translating. You don't get paid to speak Spanish to these people.
Wow.
And
good.
And people were mad at that person, but it's true.
Truth.
We don't get paid for this. And I'm not going to use my Spanish to benefit you guys and make you guys money when I'm not going to get a kickback out of it.
No, and I'm the same way. I refuse to speak Spanish, and I could talk it pretty decent. I'm in the oil field, it's kind of a second language, I would think, Spanglish in Texas. But the thing is, I go to Walmart and they're all, okay. I'm trying to talk to somebody that works there, and I'm like, I walk off. It pisses me and my wife off. I mean, I'm tired of going to damn Walmart in the south side or the north side of Midland, and you can't even find somebody that speaks freaking English. They shouldn't be hired. We should not be. Let's be honest. We shouldn't be hiring people in this country if you can't freaking speak English. Go ahead, Christy.
Yep. The same exact thing. I was in Walmart the other day and was asking where they kept, I can't remember what it was now, some kind of gift box thing. And her words to me were, no, speak English. And I was like, what? But what gets me and what I was talking about like Indeed and all these places that say must be bilingual, they have under it like $5 more per hour if you can speak both languages expertly. I mean, how is that legal?
Girl, I don't know. This is some wild shit. It's so wild.
It
It's so
is.
wild because they're
Crazy.
just willing to hire anybody for, like you said, shit wages, and Walmart pays shit money.
And you know what's crazy?
Shit money.
And you know what's crazy too about these people, especially these illegals. What I've come to notice with them, people try to put them paint them as like they're so humble, they love everybody. They are some of the most rudest people.
Mhm.
They don't care. They're on their.
Entitled, bro.
They are freaking rude, arrogant. They have their manners, and I'm not dumb. I know their attitude. They're in my on our land, y'all, and they're talking crap about us Americans, about our country. They probably like to litter. They hate America. I don't care what anybody says, y'all. Illegals, their attitudes. I've seen many. I know many. They don't like this country. They talk crap and they're rude and arrogant. Nessa, is that the way they are in Cali?
Oh,
Entitled. Thank you.
100%.
Yes.
Hell yeah. Super entitled. Super entitled. Like, I always tell people, like, I will look at them like, bro, I always tell people I want the smoke.
Yeah.
I want the smoke. I always want the smoke. I'm not scared. I don't care. Bring it.
Yep.
Like, I've been arguing with people on Facebook, and then they're like, oh, you talking all this shit, blah, blah. I'm like, bro, I wear my MAGA hat in Compton. Ain't nobody scared of y'all.
Yep. Exactly. And ain't nobody taking one either, have they?
Hell no. They look at me like, what? Like, I've had people ask me, like, are you serious? And I'm like, hell yeah, I'm serious.
Hell yeah.
What? What y'all gonna do? And I'm talking about, like, gangbangers at the liquor store, bro. I'm
Guys,
scared. I ain't scared of these
whenever
people.
Nessa says these things, like, we're not joking. That's
Yeah, she's with
for,
it.
the for real deal.
Yup.
Like,
Hey,
yeah, I
okay,
mean, she's in the thick of it.
Nessa. So let me ask you another question. The response from Gavin Newsom. I seen the mayor. I seen even Newsom. He's mad about Trump. Do you think that Trump sending 500 Marines, sending the National Guard, federalizing? I think he's federalizing the National Guard, if I'm not mistaken. Do you think? What are your thoughts on Trump's response and the response of the mayor, the sheriff, and Newsom's response? Compare those.
So the response from LAPD, the sheriffs, and the mayor, and Gavin Newsom, they're all trash. Every single one of them. And I honestly can't even believe that the police departments and the sheriffs are willing to back up Gavin Newsom and the mayor after all this shit they had to endure during the BLM riots and
Wow.
being defunded the way they were. That was a spit in the face to them, and to everybody that supports law enforcement. Why did they feel the need to not follow orders? I heard that it took LAPD over 2 hours to show up yesterday. And they called them multiple times because Karen Bass told them to stand down. And then says this is a peaceful protest. What's so peaceful about burning the city down and destroying our property?
That's exactly what Kamala Harris said. Whenever
I honestly wish that Trump would come in and take over the whole freaking state.
Yeah.
Take it from them. Shut this shit down. Remove them from office.
Man, can you
Because we
imagine?
don't need them here.
Can you imagine
I
if
would
he
love
did that?
it.
Man.
I would love it. People
That'd be
ain't
awesome.
ready. See, like, all these people, they out here acting like total buffoons. Okay, it's funny right now. It's not going to be funny when they show up to their house and raid the shit out of their house in front of all their family. At that precise moment, they're going to realize that they really fucked up. And it's not just regular jail time that they're going to go do. They're going to do federal time because they're messing with federal investigations and the agents. See, they think that they're just going to get slapped in the wrist and get let out because of LA County's policies with being arrested. Oh, no, baby, y'all doing Fed time.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, if I recognize anybody, whether they were my friends from my childhood or now, oh, you fucking best believe I'm calling the cops and I'm turning them the fuck in. I don't care. You don't get to go out here and destroy the city that we all live in.
And
how is them on the freeway? Like, they're on the freeway today. How is that benefiting anybody? People have fucking places to be and
gotta
places
go work.
to go. What if somebody has an emergency, bro? What if somebody's having an emergency trying to get to the hospital and they can't make it and someone dies because these people are blocking the freeways? Like, do they not think about these things?
They don't care.
Hey, Nessa, right here I have assault on a federal officer. This guy was chunking bricks. What a freaking lowlife. $50,000 in Paramount. I don't know if you know that neighborhood, but I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, it's right. We're borderline to them.
They are going to find this guy, and I will report his ass.
Oh yeah.
$50,000. I'll guarantee you they're going to catch him. I thought I had him earlier, but it's another guy that was helping him. But this guy, they're looking for him. Everybody, this is a PSA. He's in Paramount, California, throwing bricks. He has a motorcycle helmet. He was actually filming. Has his phone. But man, I wish I lived out there and I could report this guy. $50,000 is a lot of money, and I hope his
50?
own neighborhood
Hell
snitches
yeah.
on him. Do you think?
I hope his
Go
own
ahead.
homies turn him in.
Well,
Honestly, I hope his homies turn him in.
let's be
because
honest.
That was really uncalled for, dude.
Let's be honest. $50,000 in a ghetto or really any place in America, right? But I'm pretty sure it's in the hood. You know damn well they know who that is, and they're gonna see somebody's post and say $50,000. They're gonna turn him in. You know they are. They snitch on each other anyways.
I'm turning them in for 500.
I do it for free.
Right, I'm turning him in for free.
Hell yeah.
$3.99, bro. Just take them.
Nessa, what is the thoughts of the overall your neighborhood, your community? How do they feel all about this? Are they all sold out to this propaganda? Is there any hope for your people in your area?
Honestly, like I haven't been in the city. Like I just got home. I've been out all day. I haven't talked to nobody. But right now it's quiet because I drove to Compton, see what's going on. It's pretty quiet right now. But my boyfriend was out there this morning helping with the cleaning up because before I got out there, he was already out there. So when I was on my way, he was already on his way back home. So he got good footage. It's on his YouTube, Eye on the Streets, I think it's called.
Who's that? Who got that?
That's my boyfriend's.
Oh, let me see. What's it called? I'm gonna look it up right now.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Yeah, he was Eyes on the Streets.
All right. Go ahead. But go ahead.
Yeah, so he got out there, and he said when he got there, like at 7:15 in the morning, there was no one out there, and so he was recording. He picked up a lot of the tear gas canisters. There was a lot of pepper balls out there. Graffiti. The donut shops like mobbed up. They broke into the gas station. They looted the gas station, broke the glass. The whole gas station was taped off this morning. So he got to see a lot more than I did, but I went out there. It was disgusting. I was sad. I was embarrassed. I was angry because I don't understand why we're destroying our city. It's not going to benefit. It's not going to stop these deportations. They obviously didn't stop the ICE agents from taking them. So what was all that shit for? What was it for?
Remember the last protest? Hey, but I can't. I spelled it. Is there a way to spell it? Eyes on the Streets.
So it's Eye on the Streets.
Oh,
like,
I.
It's not together. Eye on the Streets.
Eye on the Streets. Like EY.
Yeah, EYE.
On the streets. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, I see him. That's the homie right there. Oh, I'm gonna tell y'all right now. Hey, this is Nessa's dude. This guy don't play around. I'm telling you right now, don't play with this. That's why it's just when they always say that screw Cali and let it go into the ocean. Boy, they don't even know about some of the Patriots out there in California.
You know what? Some of my closest friends are Californians that are out there fighting the good fight every day against all of this. I got a question for you, Nessa, though. Like, I know that you're tough and all of that, but do you ever worry, like, whenever you have to go somewhere alone or you're recognized from, like, being
in the city of Compton?
Sorry, go ahead.
Like being a patriot and all that? Do you ever get, like, just, like, nervous
like
if you
people
have to go
recognize
somewhere
me?
alone?
No. Well, so the thing is that, like, ever since I got involved, I've been doing a pretty good job of being able to keep myself very low key because of who I work for.
Yeah.
When I go out to the streets, I dress different. I look different. When I go to work, I'm a whole different person. I put my game face on. I'm a business person. I take care of my job, do what I have to do, come home, it's like living a double life,
Wow.
Yeah.
At work, I don't do politics. I don't talk politics. I listen to all the madness because I work with nothing but leftists. And I just listen and I giggle and I haha, but I don't give them my point of view about anything. I just tell them I don't care about the politics.
Right.
Yeah, because you learn, right, sis? I mean, let's be honest. We move and maneuver when we have to, but sometimes when you're at work, it's not even worth letting them know they ain't your friends at work, right? Huh.
Exactly.
Yeah, nope. Exactly. They're not. And I've been doing a good job, man. I'm honestly like proud. I always trip out like, damn, like I'm really surprised that they haven't been able to find me. But for the same reason, like I learned from early on that, doxing was a thing and they were reporting
Wow.
people and getting people fired. So I
We
was
were
okay.
talking about that. Yep.
Yep. So, I went by a different name on social media. I at first when I first came out and I was out here, I had my government name on my social media and I was out there doing all these live streams until somebody from my neighborhood recognized me and blew my fucking cover. And so I had to shut everything down, change my names. They were looking for me. They were texting all my big homies that they wanted my information. And my big homies were like, nope, y'all gonna leave her the fuck alone. Like, whether we agree with what she's doing or not, like, you guys are not about to blast her fucking address because, number one, they know I ain't playing that dog shit. Don't come near my house.
Are you still doing t-shirts and all that? Or did you give that up?
I still have my stuff here, but I don't do it unless I get an order.
Yeah,
But not like I don't promote it.
Hey
Yeah,
Nessa,
I still wear that t-shirt all the
let me
time.
Nessa, winding down here. Let me ask you. He's picking up your boyfriend's picking up all kinds of trash, and he's cleaning up here. God bless him. Does it hurt, sis, to get pepper sprayed? I mean, when it's in the air, I always wonder. I'm pretty sure it hurts.
Oh, yes. This morning when they were sweeping all the trash, while I was standing there, they picked up, as they're sweeping, they brushed a lot of that pepper tear gas shit in the air, and I started coughing. I was like, holy shit, you could hear me coughing on my live stream. I was like,
Wow.
what the hell was that? And imagine it was long gone.
So
They just
so
touched it with the broom and it activated
well, I,
again.
I always
But
wonder.
I've been bear sprayed actually, and that shit is painful, dude.
Well, and I always
It
wonder.
burns.
And I wonder too. Like I see them like spraying in the air, and somebody like walks through a cloud. Does that affect you too? Like just walking kind of through the mist.
Yes. Oh yeah. Hell yeah. Let that stuff touch you is a wrap, dude. You inhale it, it touches you. Like when I had that bear spray on my hands, I got it on my hands because I was trying to get my friends like out of a brawl we were having. So I was pulling people out, and I got the bear spray all over my hands. I kid you not. I dipped my hands in oil. I dipped my hands in tomatoes. I dipped my hands in like Miralax and milk. I dipped my hands in everything, and nothing worked, dude. I don't know
Oh,
what's in bear spray, but I had to sleep with an ice pack on one on each hand so I can try to get some sleep at night. It was the most horrifying shit ever. You
So,
do not want to be.
and they spray
You
like
don't want
nothing.
to be pepper sprayed or nope. It's so you know what? Honestly, like after we experienced that, I found out that there's they sell medical grade wipes that can get the pepper spray, bear spray oils off of you. So I bought lots of them. And every time my peoples went out to Portland, I would send them packages like, here, make sure you guys wipe yourselves because it burns for
So,
hours.
whenever I was on the correction side of law enforcement, we had to go through the pepper spray, the taser, all of that. So I knew me, and I knew if I did not go first and I saw these other people and the pain they were going to go in, that I would back out, that I just wouldn't be able to do it. So I decided to go first. They used the wrong canister of spray on me. They use the most potent spray. You have to be state certified to use this, and sprayed it in my eyes for 3 seconds. And then they have
Yeah.
you go through like this obstacle course where you have to use the baton, you have to do the knee kicks, you have to like the throat, like get them throat punches and stuff like that. And then they had a whole station set up for us. Um, that they had Dawn dishwashing liquid that and water that they would rub all over our face, and then literally just pour milk all over our face. But they said the worst part is that it's going to reactivate whenever you take a shower because water reactivates that oil.
Whoa.
And I will tell you, I will take a taser prong going into my skin 5 times over before I ever get pepper sprayed again.
Look, I'm gonna be honest. Like when I got stabbed, I didn't feel it, so I think I'd rather get stabbed than have pepper spray, bro. Because when I got stabbed, I didn't feel nothing. I didn't even know I was stabbed.
But pepper spray,
I'd rather,
pepper spray things. All right, so Nessa, final words. Everybody watching, everybody, it's Compton's Finest on Instagram. If you want to let them know where to find you, or if you don't want to, let them know, sis. Final words on everything. The floor is yours. Go ahead. Compton's Finest.
We love
So
her.
I just want everybody to know that, I understand that California is ran by crazy ass Democrats, but there's a lot of patriots out here that we're trying to save our state. And I kid you not, there's times that I just want to give up and say, fuck this, dude, and just go about my life because it takes a toll, a big toll. But I also remember that I have a niece and I have two nephews. And so when I go out there and do what I do it for the kids because the kids deserve a better future than what we have going on right now. There's no reason in the planet that these kids are being taught to be gay, that they could become men and women that they weren't born. No. We're not doing that. We're hardcore out here. We about the business. We don't care. We gonna take care of business. We ain't scared of nobody because I'm sick and tired of people thinking that because we're Trump supporters, we're scared to come out. Oh, baby, we walk amongst y'all and y'all don't even know. And then when it comes time to pop off, you best believe we got them hands ready because we ain't scared out here. We grew up out in these streets. So it ain't nothing new. Don't forget that California has hardcore patriots, man. We out here. We might not be loud and be out here destroying the city because we're not about that. We're not about committing crimes and destroying the city that we live in. And all these illegal deportations, they're going to continue. These people, that there is nothing that they're going to do that it's going to stop it. We have the Marines coming, the National Guard here, bro, is about to get a whole lot funky. And I hope they do a martial law and fucking curfew on these motherfuckers, honestly.
They're gonna need to do so because there ain't no other option. But anyways, thank you, Nessa, Compton's Finest. Cristiano, if you want to ask her anything else, but before we end that call.
No, thank you for everything you do, Nessa. I know it's hard being out there in the middle of this, and we know you're a real one. Anything that you need, give us a call.
Yeah, so anytime if it ever comes back out here and it pops off and I'm in the area, I'll make sure to go out there.
Yeah, you know how to
go live with you guys. I'll call you guys because like this morning I was like, I'm on my way. Let me call fucking Nino, dude. I was blowing all his accounts up.
Yeah, my bad. Since I was at work, man. I wish I would have got it, but we appreciate you, Nessa. God bless you. Compton's Finest, y'all.
God bless you guys. I love y'all. Take care.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye.
God bless.
Nino.
Okay.
So
what's up?
We gotta look at these comments real quick. So Olivia is saying that there are cops trapped on Grand Avenue under the bridge.
Wow.
And
where's that at? Is somebody live right now?
I don't know. Olivia, do you know anybody that's live right now that has that info, or do you fax over lives? Because it says that horseback police are on the ground now, but that there's police that were trapped on Grand Avenue. And of course, I don't know anything about that area at all.
Yeah. Well, keep us informed. Real quick, we're going to do a quick segue, sis. We got to touch the local issues real quick. Compton's Finest, y'all. A real one right there. I don't care what anybody says. I met her and her dude in person. The crew, they're about that business. It was on CBS. They are about the business, y'all. I mean, they care for the community. They care for their city, and it's tough. Try that live. Which one is it and shit?
Which one? Compton.
I don't know. We'll figure it out. But if anything, it's all good. We're in an hour, sis. We got to touch these local issues real quick, sis. Okay. So I want to touch on this real quick. We have a big story dropping tomorrow. Where's it at? I don't even know where the hell I got it at, y'all. I'm so fired up on this other stuff. Tomorrow we're dropping 4:00. I think we're gonna have a news conference here in Midland. What I've been doing lately, everybody, is dealing with the local politics. We said it earlier. It's crazy dealing in your own backyard. I'm going to be honest, everybody. You know, it's cool being a Trumper. And I said it the other day. My wife said, who are you taking shots at? Really, nobody. But I said that if you build a platform, if you're MAGA, this is my opinion. I had to say it. But if you build a platform off of the MAGA Patriots and you got a big following or any kind of following, I think sooner or later, you know, reposting content, making memes, that's cool. But sooner or later, if you really care and you're not a grifter, you should be in your own backyard making your own city great again. It starts in your own backyard. And that's what I started doing a long time ago. You know, I'd focus on my own backyard from going against BLM, the Beto O'Rourke rally, standing, helping trying to find missing women and children. I'm just saying that if you have a platform, you should start focusing your attention to your own town because, anybody can be a Trumper or claim to be. Anybody can go to a rally. Anybody can repurpose content, repost content, get it from X and post it here. I do the same thing too. But I think there's a certain point where people need to get off their ass and go out there and make a difference in your own community. You know what I'm saying? I think it's kind of lame if someone just stays home and just plays it safe and just reposts content all day and you just got a big page you're following and that's all you do. It's time to stand up. I mean, it's cool being a Trumper, it's cool to post breaking news, but sooner or later, use that platform that you have to focus on your own city. Go ahead, sis.
And especially do things like, Nino, I know you homeschool your child, but anybody that doesn't, go to your school board meetings,
Yes.
go to the commissioner meetings that they have,
Speaking
that
of
they
one,
always
here's one with Dan Corrales on my screen. Y'all don't even know it's corrupt over here.
absolutely, and go to those commissioners meetings that they purposely try to set for
Mm-hmm.
10 a.m. and 11 a.m. whenever people are at work. And you have judges that refuse to speak to any of the people who voted for him and not doing his job. I mean, it is like we have so much. I have to tell you, Nino, and I know I have said this a million times, and people are tired of hearing it. Knowing you these last 5.5 years, I have never in my life seen such corruption as what I see in Midland. I lived in Tampa for 5.5 years, and I was very involved in community stuff. And we did not have the corruption and all that. You had a society of people that loved living there. Every week there was some kind of different festival. You had a seafood boil one week. You had a macaroni and cheese bake off the next week. You just went to all these different events. The Bucks playing, the Tampa Bay Rays playing, and all of that, and you just didn't have that. And then I moved to where I have now, and we don't, even the community where I live now, like there's minor things that happen mostly with HOAs and things like that, but nothing to the extent of what Midland is. I
Yeah,
have
it's
never seen
crazy.
anything like this.
It's bad here, y'all. And we even have the judges, the mayor. They're all against us, and they call us names. And anyways, I'm finna get ready to end the live anyways because we got things to do. But somebody just sent me the information that that guy with the $50,000 bounty has been arrested. I'm looking on X right now. I have not seen it. I haven't synced it. But once I do find it, I will post it on my social media platforms. Follow us on X, X, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. We're on everything, y'all, and we are focusing really on our city. Man, here it is. Most people, wow, the police are here under a bridge right here, y'all. Let me go to my actual X real quick. Sorry, sis. Where is this? Let me repost it. That's why I like this X account. I can repost my post. I reposted it, and let me show y'all. This is what I think Olivia was talking about, ladies and gentlemen. Where's it at? Well, let me go to my profile. Right here. They are under the. If I can go to my. Oh, right here. I'm sorry, y'all. Where's my X account? Boom. Alrighty. Right here.
So, Alex,
Hold on,
I'm
sis.
just going to say,
Wow, they're pelting. Oh my goodness. Let me fix this. Wow. They're hitting the police that are under the bridge. They're hitting their cars, sis, with bricks and everything.
oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
I can't see it yet because I'm on a delay.
Wow, sis. Oh my God.
Where was that at, Nino? I couldn't see any of us live on X.
I reposted on X. If you go to my X and just look at my reposts,
Okay, I'll look after
I
we're
think it's what
done.
Nessa said. Alameda Street. There it is. Union Station. Didn't she say Alameda or something like that? But
I don't know, but
there's a
I
bridge,
know that
sis. There's a
Olivia,
bridge, and there's about 8 police vehicles totally demolished, totaled, and they're pelting them with bricks. A bunch of scumbags are. This is what you want to do to us? Screw you. I hope they deport every single one of you and arrest you and put you in prison for life. This is attempted unaliving right here, y'all. This is
Mhm.
freaking horrendous. And to be honest, the police in California, in LA, they're not even really helping ICE. They've actually been told to stand down, and this is how they treat them, y'all. I can't believe this. Did you see it, sis?
Yeah, I see it. Facts Over Lies said that this is breaking news right now, and a press conference at the top of the hour is coming up.
Cops under the bridge, and one cop got hit in the head from someone throwing bricks off a bridge. It's a highway patrol. I can tell. I mean, Chrissy, these are big ass rocks, dude.
I mean, that they kill people. Look how many. I mean, all you got to do is just Google how many times kids have thrown bricks or rocks over overpasses that have hit oncoming cars. It happened not too long ago. I guess I just moved here, so I guess it's been a while now. Then, but somebody threw a concrete block through, and it hit the two ladies in the windshield. Almost decapitated the lady, but they both died.
This is bad, dude. I mean, yeah, boulders.
Yeah.
I can't stand these damn people. I can't stand these people. I'll tell you right now. Let me go to another
Mhm.
post. I'm following Anthony Cabasa on X, and I retweeted this. There's a car on fire, and my wife said, and people have noticed these kind of cars. It's like nobody drives them. I guess California has driverless cars, but a lot of the cars that we've seen been on fire, it's like either somebody don't drive it, or it's like they're kind of weird kind of cars. I don't know if they're somebody's car. They're obviously somebody's car, but I don't know how they get a hold of these cars. Like,
Tesla.
I don't know if there's like maybe autonomous or AI driven or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
And these people are on drugs.
And they think that's cute.
I swear it's really
Whatever
it's the worst of the worst with these people.
whatever they caused to have that car in flames like that was extremely strong. I mean, look at those flames. Like, I was the first on scene of an RV on fire, and those flames
Yeah,
were
it's
not
big.
near that bright.
They
Yeah,
they, they said they said Waymo cars. What's a Waymo car?
I have no idea.
I'll Google it real quick. Anyways, but this is crazy, y'all. This is just Waymo. It's formerly known as a Google self-driving car project. Wow.
Alex, I don't need you to worry about my salvation. I've got my salvation all under control by myself.
Amen. Salvation is through Christ alone, simple faith and profession in what Christ did on the cross. Romans 10:9. There's no works, involved. There's no baptism. There's none of that. You're losing your salvation. It's simple. John, I think 10. I don't want to misquote, but the Lord Jesus said that He knows His sheep, and His sheep know His voice. And whoever God puts in His hand, no man can separate, basically. So
Uh-huh.
once you put your faith in Christ, once the Holy Spirit is in you, you are born again, and you are sealed until the day you die and go with the Lord. It's like a down payment. The Holy Spirit comes in, upon our lives. And praise God for that, because let's be honest, if it was about works or being perfect, none of us would make it. All of us would be destined to hell
Absolutely.
if it wasn't for the grace of God and the shed blood on the cross. Christ died for us, and to simply to be born again is to simply put your childlike faith in what Christ did. He died for us. He died for you. He rose again on the third day. And Romans 10:9 says to simply trust in Jesus and what he did, not what we do. Amen. And I thank God for his grace and mercy.
Amen.
I digress. So there it is, y'all. There was our live. Christy, final words. Go ahead.
I just, I guess I just want to applaud you that you're working. I heard you say earlier, whenever we were talking about the mindset of kids looking at us and thinking that we're old and stuff like that, and you were talking about, I don't feel old, I'm just tired. Well, I can understand why. You drive your truck 70 to 80 hours a week, sometimes longer, and then everything that you do, like on your media platforms, not even just media platforms, like going out into communities and trying to help with
Yeah,
water
sis.
situations
It,
and all of that.
I'm sorry to cut you off, sis, but we not that we care, but we don't get paid for it. And the worst thing about them, to be honest, without being rude, is it takes away from my family. You know what I mean? Me and my wife like to spend time with our kids,
Absolutely.
and but we do disconnect and spend time with our kids. But that's the hardest part, is us leaving our kids here, and our daughters. Damn, mom and dad, where y'all going again? And I kid you not, they call me all day. People are calling me, texting me. Somebody just told me there's some homeless people pooping out there at a certain park. I'm gonna go investigate. Like, they call me for all kinds of stuff, sis. It's like, what I'm saying. I'm not a
Yeah.
police, and I'm not a mayor, but it's like a lot of people in my city contact me. I'm getting phone calls day and night. I got a little team I'm working with, Christy. We doing the content. I'm real busy doing this. Plus, I run a trucking company, and I'm a father, and I'm a husband. So, and not to complain, I'm just saying it is a lot to do. But I thank God that I'm doing it, and we're doing it. We got a good team. Thank you, Christy. Thank you, everybody that's watching and supporting us, because what I'm saying, we're gonna do it. This is what we want to do, and what we're gonna do. Final words. Go ahead.
No, just I want to thank all the people that just really have always stood behind us and realize that sometimes you preach a harsh message, but your words are not for the weak. And that's how I was ever introduced to you. As my sister was like, "You have got to come listen to him." And I'll be honest, she said, I think he's a Mexican, but he is going off on people about about drugs.
Amen.
And yeah, and from that moment forward, I followed you on every platform, and we developed this friendship. And just thank you for everything that you do to like bring light to what's going on in communities. But you're absolutely right; it has to start in your own backyard.
Yup.
You cannot fight the state level, the federal level, if you haven't got your own community level
Yeah,
where it
don't.
needs to.
Yeah, you got to take care of your own backyard. And with that,
Yeah,
thank you, sis. And I blocked this guy in the comments, y'all, trying to contact y'all about doing Bible studies. I'm gonna be honest. I don't believe in no Bible studies. I believe if you go to church, I don't even like my kids to go to anywhere else. They're gonna sit there with me in church. If I do go to a church, which I
absolutely.
don't, because they're 501c3 entities, the only select few are really good in my opinion. But
Pastor Mahia, that's who I listen to.
yes, I'm a Baptist, but yeah, I blocked this guy on here talking about works, and faith without works is dead. I mean, he's using all these verses out of context. Again, y'all, put your faith in what Christ did. Simple and plain. None of us are perfect. We can never reach perfection. The Bible even says that our works are like filthy rags unto God. You think all this stuff that you do is going to get you into heaven, or it's going to get you brownie points? No, the Bible says what pleases God is faith in his Son. Amen. When God sees us as Christians, he sees the righteousness of Christ in us. That's what makes us Christians and makes us born again, is whenever we put our faith in what Jesus did. And I just want to clear that up, because this guy was in the comments talking about works, and you got to have works and all this. Having works is
Yeah.
good. Doing good things is good. Going to church is good, I guess, a good one. Doing good things is good, but that does not save you. Only one thing saves you is the shed blood of Christ on the cross. I just want to end the night with that. Chrissy, thank you. God bless everybody in the name of Jesus. Maybe we'll start sending our Bibles out again, sis. We've been doing that for a
Yeah.
little while too. We'll get back on that as soon as possible. Thank y'all. Tomorrow we got big news. Y'all check us out on all platforms, especially Facebook. That's my main source, my main platform. I'm getting a lot of reach over there. We got a lot of big things working this week in the community. We're expanding exposing a lot of stuff. It's happening little by little, but you're going to see how we operate and how we maneuver in this day and age, y'all. Yes, we love Trump. Yes, we're patriots and Christians, but at the same time, we think the best way to do good for your own country and for your own countrymen is to focus on your area, your own backyard, your city. Go to the council meetings. Be active in your school board. Anything to do with your taxes, your city, your kids. You need to be involved because these people are spending a lot of freaking money in all these towns, and it's going unaccounted for. Nobody's questioning them, and once you start questioning them, boy, wait till you see what you find out. With that, y'all. Thank you, everybody that stay on the live. Anybody stayed all this way to the very end, thank you. God bless you. Thank you, Christy. Christ is Lord. And with that, y'all, we are out of here. And remember, you ain't gotta like it. Later.